In 1925, E.K. Strong published the book, The Psychology of Selling. He introduced the idea of sales techniques such as features and benefits, objection handling, closing, and open and closed questioning. It showed that there were things people could learn that would help them sell more effectively. It wasn't until the 1970s that extensive studies were done to identify the best sales methods for selling complex solutions. This started the demise of selling features, functions, and benefits and replaced it with consultative selling methods that focus on corporate sales. Closing in this environment was a matter of following the customer's buying processes. In many cases, it depended on strong, long-lasting customer relationships for success in closing the business. Since the 1970s, the sales performance gap for solution selling between those performing at the top level and those who are average has been widening. This puts a premium on understanding the attitudes and skill sets of today's top sales performers and using this information to train the rest of the sales team. While there are a wide variety of sales skills that define sales success, the reference point for success or failure is the ability to close the sale. The concepts and methods about closing sales are in rapid transition. Solution selling and consultative selling dominate most value-added B2B environments. Closing consumer sales is changing as well. Today's buyer wants to be in control. They want to do their research on their own, and they want to have the recommendations of their social networks for products and services they purchase. The increase in e-commerce and internet sales have resulted in consumers that have higher demands on those selling to them and also higher appreciation for the personal touch when done well. There are still some B2C selling that uses the same hard closing techniques that have given salespeople a bad name. Thus, the scope of issues surrounding how we close business continues to increase. Given that sales training has changed little over the last 80 years, there are some key points we need to understand about the closing process before we delve into the details of how closing works. As you've learned from this Sales Master 360 course, the fundamentals of selling have to change as our customer changes. From the rise of the more educated, informed, and socially connected consumer to the rapid evolution of the professional corporate buyers, it's time for new approaches to selling and to closing the sale. In our lesson about managing sales step transitions, we looked at that process for engaging with customers, finding common ground, and establishing rapport and trust. In our lesson on presentations and demonstrations that matter, we learned to focus on what the customer wants, needs, and values. What we've tried to convey is that selling is a fluid process, not a fixed set of steps you can check off your list. This program has provided you the time necessary to practice these principles until they become second nature to you. The same holds true for closing. Done properly from an emotional and sales process point of view, closing should be the natural conclusion to your engagement with the customer. It can be stress-free for you and for your customer when you've laid the proper emotional and business foundation.